All right, the tape is rolling. I would now call to order and open the City of Green Bay Ethics Board hearing on the complaint brought forth by Zoe Van Oss against Alderman John Vanderleest. And because this is being taped, I would ask that we just go around the dais here and just state your name, that you're present, so we have it on the tape as to who's here. So,
Sure. Mark Olson.
Wyatt Hall.
Bill Vandekessel.
Bill Galvin.
All right. The goal of the Ethics Board is to provide and conduct a hearing that is both fair in form, appearance, and substance. With that being said, we have a couple of procedural things to take care of here first, and that is that we would ask each of us to disclose whether we have any conflicts of interest in this matter, and I would ask that you confirm and certify that on the record that you do not. So if anybody has a conflict of interest, please so state, or otherwise state that you do not. So, I'll go with you.
Mark Olson, I do not.
Wyatt Hall, I do not.
Bill Vandekessel, I do not.
Bill Galvin, I do not.
We have the parties here, and I would ask if any of the parties have any objection or concerns with respect to the members serving on the committee. Ms. Van Oss? No. Ms. Nell, on behalf of Mr. Vanderleest?
No, I do not. No, I'm just going to sit on you. No conflicts with my client.
Would you like the alderman to sit up here?
Yes, I'm going to go sit by him.
No,
Oh,
come on up here,
okay.
alderman. Maybe if you guys could just
Yes.
slide down a little bit and give them some room.
They didn't want the media. They don't want to sit by the media. They know better. No, I'm just teasing. Just teasing.
All right, so there's no objection to to any of the members on the board. I would also ask the board, have any of you received any communications outside of what's been provided through the clerk's office or the city attorney's office regarding this matter?
Mark Olson, I have not.
Wyatt Hall, again, no.
Bill Vandekessel, no?
Bill Galvin, no.
All right. And I apologize, I sort of jumped the agenda here. I skipped approval of the meetings for the July 5th board meeting, but we'll cover that at the end. All right. The process tonight is laid out in the code, and it's also been sent out, I believe, to all the parties, that each party will have 30 minutes to present their evidence and whatever they would like the commission and the board to hear, and then the board will deliberate. Under the rules that appear in the code, it requires a 4/5 vote of the commission for a finding. Since we only have 4 members here tonight, that would mean it would require a unanimous vote to move forward with any action coming out of these proceedings. The other thing I would note in that a complaint has been filed by Ms. Van Oss. There was also a response received from Attorney Nell on behalf of Alderman Vanderleest. And I would just note that in Ms. Nell's response, you asked that the hearing not go forward and simply be dismissed, and that it proceed without a hearing. Well, obviously, we are here tonight for a hearing, but I want to make clear and that you understand that should not be taken as any indication that we've ruled on your request. It's just that the procedures that we have to follow don't give us an opportunity to rule on those kinds of sort of pretrial motions before we actually get here tonight. So,
Understood.
all right. So just to make it clear for the record, we have not ruled on your request for a motion to dismiss that was accompanied your response.
Okay.
So with that.
Could I formally give you a copy then, just so that I feel like, because it is an actual world copy, and it says in the minutes, or as the letter sent out on the 4th, that I'm supposed to address any procedures prior to the start of the meeting. And so I'm going to file it in the morning. I feel it's appropriate to give you a copy. And I did say to Ms. Van Oss, it's not going to be decided, I don't expect anyone to decide it tonight, but I feel I should at least hand it to you.
All right.
Okay, is that fair to accept it?
Sure.
Okay, if not, I understand.
No, we'll take anything you want to submit.
Okay.
And that's, as you, I believe I understand that this is sort of a pre-trial issue.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
And should I leave you any additional copies for anyone else?
Just make sure that the city attorney's office
Very
gets a
good,
copy.
thank you.
Right. Well, just raise your hand. If I'm not looking at it, just kick me or something under the table. Yes.
And Attorney, Vegas, I did, like I said, provide those copies.
Okay.
Ms. Benham. Proceed.
All right, procedurally then, what'll happen is that after the testimony's been presented, the board will go into deliberations and render its findings of fact and conclusions of law based on the evidence that's presented here and the testimony also submitted this evening. And then that report will be submitted to the city council as required under the code for the council to take action. So with that, the floor will be turned over to Ms. Van Ost to present any additional evidence. I would note that in the complaint, there is attached to the complaint a email chain or an email thread. So we have that as part of the record already, but if there's anything else you wish to present, the floor is yours. And I believe we need to swear you in, correct? So raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Very good. Please proceed.
Thank you, members of the Ethics Board, for your time this evening. I just wanted to make sure that you did receive the grievance and were able to review the chain of email comments that were sent back and forth. And did you have any questions? Obviously, we do not have witnesses because it's in black and white what occurred.
So as I'll
Yes.
start. The email chain that I have that's attached to this looks like it starts on Monday, February 20th, 2017. Is that correct?
I did. Yes.
And then it carries through with the final one, it looks like February 20th of 2017 at 4:02 p.m.
Yes.
So that's
You have the
this.
correct information.
So there are 2 pages to it
Yes.
that's attached?
And it goes backwards.
Right.
I had emailed everyone on the city council with my personal opinion and reached out to them for one of the elected officials and was giving my personal opinion, how I felt about the situation. And I did receive a couple responses that were very friendly, very nice, and professional. Then I did receive a message, an email from Mr. Vanderleest, and I did not agree with him. I tried to be professional, and I believe he took it to the next level by attacking my character and my reputation because I did not agree with him. And just because one person does not agree with someone does not make that person unprofessional. I asked him to cease conversation with me, it would have been done. Instead, I believe he crossed the line and abused his power by using the tact of contacting my employer with the sole intent to cause me financial harm. This was an absolute independent opinion that I had, reaching out to the board in hopes that someone was not voted out of office. This was my opinion. I can tell you that when I got the email back from my employer, I was scared. I had never seen or experienced by just voicing your opinion, whether email or vocal, that you could receive retribution, reprisals, reprimands from an employer because you disagree with a council member. At no time did I feel I was unprofessional. by disagreeing, let me reiterate, is not being unprofessional. It's, you can agree to disagree. I'm here because I feel strongly that he does owe me a public apology, and also that I don't want this to occur to anybody else. I want assurance from this board that if you do not agree with a public official and you want to voice what you believe independently, it's your opinion, that you don't have to be afraid that your boss is going to be contacted. That is crossing a line. At no time did I indicate where I worked or this was representing who I worked for. I'm an independent contractor. I have my own computer. I have my own phones. I have everything is mine. Did I call from the office? Yes, but I'm an independent, or did I email from my office? Yes, on my own computer. I feel that attacking me because of logistics of where an email came from by Mr. Vanderleest's attorney in the review is unfair because it victimizes me again that I did something wrong. And when in the city of Green Bay or when anywhere are you not able to voice what you think or support someone? I feel it was very much a form of bullying because it scared me. It was a threat. If I don't back down, I'm going to contact your employer. That is not right, and that is not the message that should be sent out to the public. I also feel very strongly that had I been a man, there is no way he would have took it upon himself to contact my employer. So I did feel threatened because I was a woman also. If you please would read the email, I'm a direct person. It was very direct. It's not unprofessional. It's my opinion, and that was it. It should have ended there. I don't have any witnesses because it was in black and white. It's an email. I never talked to him on the phone. And I don't understand why he thought he had the power that he was able to contact my employer. The only reason he contacted my employer was to cause me financial harm. That was the intent. He was upset I did not agree with him. He was upset I questioned him. That is not grounds for him to contact my employer. I don't understand why someone would think they had the right to do that. And in the meantime, through the briefing and other things that I've seen, I feel that my character, my professionalism is under attack when I don't feel that I did anything wrong. I think every citizen should have the right to voice their opinion, their personal opinion, support their candidates, even if it's not popular. And in no way did I ever insinuate that it was my employer's opinion or my company's opinion. This was from me. It was signed just my name, my home number, and my cell phone number. Do you have any questions, please?
Board members, are there any questions?
I have a few.
Yes.
I'm looking at these emails here, and if you would look at them with me, if you can show a particular email here where you feel the language is bullish or alarming in his responses
Sure.
to
You should hold yourself with more professionalism. You work for Mark, who is a good man. His father served as mayor, and he knows elected officials need to have a pulse. Personal attacks by the mayor's personal friends are not helpful. How was that a personal attack? How was I not professional? Does it matter who my friends are, where I go to church, where I work, where my kids go to school? Does that have bearing on any of this? Absolutely not.
Was there a reaction from your boss?
Yes, he put a question mark, and I said, because why am I getting this?
And was that it?
I would not like to comment right now.
Was there any email exchange between you and Mr. Olenichek after this question mark?
I think I had to explain what happened
Okay.
because he wanted to know why. He had no idea. Like I said, I'm an independent contractor. I can voice my opinion and
So-
support candidates that I want to, or elected officials.
So you had a verbal conversation with him?
No, I had a slight conversation. No, I didn't. It was just an email back. And I may have left him a voicemail message that said, I got your email. You don't have to worry about it.
So was there an email in response to this question?
I think so. I think I emailed him.
But you didn't provide that to us?
No, you know what? I would have to check through my emails. Is it a big concern? Because I can go on my phone right now and look for it.
Well, I don't want you to do it now, but if you're supplying documents for the record, you've not supplied everything if it exists.
But this does not have any bearing on him. I mean, this is in his opinion.
No, but you're saying you had a conversation with Mr. Olenichek as a result of this email exchange, and then you said you had a response to this question mark from Mr. Olenichek. I'm just asking if it exists.
I'm not sure
I
if
don't
I
think you're
gave him
100% sure.
Well, it happened on February 21st, and I'm not sure if I called him and left him a voicemail on his cell or if I emailed him. I mean, I did contact him afterwards. Obviously, he put a question mark to me. I had to respond. But he is not going to get involved. This isn't about him. He doesn't understand why someone would contact him.
Bill, I stepped in front of you.
No, that's fine. I guess I was looking at if there was a reaction from your boss. Was it an adverse reaction or was it a neutral reaction? One where he said he was going to just, he's going to just back off. I mean, you're insinuating, or not you're insinuating, you're saying that he intended, Mr. Van Links intended to cause you financial harm. And then I'm wondering if
I have
anything
not
like
received financial harm at this time, Bill.
Okay.
However, the intent for him to contact my boss was.
And so you believe when he contacted your boss, that was his intent?
Exactly.
And so
If you would, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if you voice your opinion for someone that you're supporting, and all of a sudden your boss gets a call, are you going to feel threatened?
Well, I can't answer that, but I mean, you have to convince us that that's what his purpose was. Getting to the male-female thing, what makes you feel, based on these email exchanges, that if you were a man, this wouldn't have happened?
Because it's a form of bullying, and he didn't like that I disagreed with him. And I just know there's no one that can make me not feel this way. But I feel it was intimidation, and I just know there is no way he would have contacted a man's employer. And I think he thought he could get away with this because I am a woman. And I'm going to just be scared and I'm not going to say anything. And I just think that's wrong.
Okay. If you had sent out letters on Olenichek letterhead, I mean, and I'm asking this because I see on the email it says olej.com at the bottom. I understand you're an independent contractor, which means you have a different kind of working relationship with them than like when I was at the police department. I had a direct boss, and I worked for the city of Green Bay. But do you think If you had sent this correspondence in a letter, it would be different or the same if you then reached out to your boss.
That's, all I can say on that is it's hypothetical. And there's no way I'd know how to answer that also. This is not about logistics. Had I been in support of Mr. Vanderleest's opinion, he would not have contacted my boss. Because I did not agree with him or believe his claim regarding his constituency base, he took steps to harm me.
So he contacted your boss because he know your boss, or is that?
Yes, he claimed because I never brought him up, he claimed that he knows the family. And, I don't know how that would be relevant to my opinion or whether or not I agreed with him. And I tried to give him an out. I said, cease conversation with me. Why wouldn't you just stop and walk away?
So on the email before that, when you said good luck to you, Z, you were ending the conversation.
I ended it, but if you read it, I said, when he started attacking my professionalism, I just stated, this is unacceptable dialogue with me. I am free to express my opinion and show my support. Because I do not agree with you does not make me unprofessional, and I find your suggestion rude. This conversation is over. It should have ended right there.
Any further questions from any board members? I have a couple now. In your, first of all, this committee has jurisdiction or authority over two different ethics issues. One is the city's ethics code or code of ethics, and then the second is a separate code of conduct that was adopted by the city council a couple of years ago. My understanding is, based on the review of your complaint, that this is a complaint based on the code of conduct, correct? All right. And then in your complaint, you referenced a violation of section 4E of the Code of Conduct and 5A of the Code of Conduct. So I'm going to go first to 4E. I don't know if you have a copy of that in front of you, but can you give us an explanation as to where you think the transaction that's referenced in these transactions that's referenced in the emails comes up as a violation of section 4E of the Code of Conduct? Do you have a copy of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really nice.
So again, where do you believe that what's referenced in this chain of emails represents a violation of section 4.E or 4.7?
4E makes promises. He discussed that he claimed that Mayor Schmidt should be removed and that he should step down or face recall.
But that's related to the alderman's responsibility on the city council. I guess what I'm looking at is, where do you see his responses to you in these emails that you provided constitutes a violation of section E, 4.E? So this is the 4.E represents part of the code of conduct that is expected by the city of its elected officials. And so I'm looking for what your view of this activity by the alderman, not how he voted or so forth, but how he responded to you and treated you as a member of the public. How does that, in your mind, fit into 4.E?
As I stated in my letter, my grievance letter, I believe that he violated because he was giving opinions of actions taken by mayor, and also that he was trying to, his intent was to give me financial harm by intimidating me at work, because I did not agree with him. I feel that violated the code of ethics. that shouldn't have happened. That crossed the line.
And then you,
I don't want to have fear if I ever speak out again that somebody's going to contact my employer and try to discredit me, my professionalism, my reputation, just because I didn't agree with them.
and then I would ask you the same question for section 5A. Again, you referenced that in your complaint. Where do you believe that these activities, the emails between the alderman and yourself?
That was the one where it was about Mayor Schmidt, that he thought that he should resign.
But again, related to your chain of emails and the communications you had with the alderman, where do you believe that that fits into a violation of 5A?
He was representing that his district wanted Mayor Schmidt to resign, and that he had said that his constituency base said that there was a 3-to-1 or whatever. Let me read it. Sentiment on phone calls to be removed about 3-to-1 in my West Side district. And I just said I didn't agree, and he didn't show any proof. He didn't have any polling records. Why do I have to agree what somebody says? Show me the proof. I don't know if he really did receive those calls. And all I did was say I don't believe you. So I feel that that could have been a misrepresentation because I didn't see proof of anything in writing or documentation.
As part of the process, did you receive a copy of Attorney Nell's
Yes,
answer
I
and
did.
response?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
She lists in there 7 points regarding this. Do you have any, besides what you've already told us? I know we're getting short on the time here, but do you have any responses beyond what you've already told us to any of those points?
The point I'd like to make is that I understand that Attorney Nell is representing her client, John Vanderleest, and she needs to make sure that she does all she can for him. But a lot of this pointed out disclaimers against me that I thought were unfair because I felt in this, I was on trial here. I don't know why I'm on trial here. Again, I disagreed with somebody. My employer was contacted. Because I don't live in Green Bay, I'm still a citizen of Wisconsin or the United States. I thought this was a free country. As far as working in emailing from my own personal computer, I mean, I went through my Gmail account. It rerouted probably to the other email address. I'm not tech savvy. I had no idea that it was my Gmail account because that's the one I use. Nobody else would know that it was Oli.com, but that was. But Mr. Vanderleest has a real estate license. He knows I'm in the business. He knew that. As far as I never said sexual discrimination. I said sexism. And it only has to happen once. And there's nobody that's not going to. There's no one that's going to dissuade me from that. I just know, being a woman and working, that if I had been a man and disagreed with him, my employer would not have been contacted.
Anything, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I know that she was explaining the difference between libel and slander, so I thought that was interesting because I didn't know that, so thank you for that education. But I do feel like there was some libel against me because he was stating that I was unprofessional. Why? Or stating that because I didn't agree with him that I don't have a good reputation. I didn't understand that. In no instance did I claim I was speaking on behalf of my employer or my company or that I wasn't a realtor. None of that. This was a personal opinion in support before they voted. It was nothing. It was to show support. I received other emails from other aldermen, and they were fine. They treated me with respect.
Go ahead.
Thank you. You referenced the email of February 21st at 3:26 where it was relayed to you that the sentiment of the phone calls was 3-1 in favor of removal. And then your response back to the alderman was approximately 3 minutes later, and you said, "I don't believe you."
I don't. There's no proof.
How would you expect a person to take that statement, "I don't believe you"? When this individual conveyed to you what he had learned in his role in response to you, and you said you did not believe him.
Do I need to believe him? Do I need to
You're
believe
calling
him?
out his character, are you not?
Do I need to believe him? Could he state?
Well,
that
that's
he
what I'm
had-
asking you. You're saying you don't believe him, so are you
No,
then
I
saying...
don't believe him.
Are you
There's
saying
no
he's-
proof.
Are you saying that he's lying to you in that statement?
I
about
never
the-
said that, did I?
Well, you said
I
you
said I
don't
don't
believe
believe
it.
that statement. I don't believe him.
Thank you.
Because I don't believe someone, they have the right to call my employer?
I didn't ask you that. I just asked you what you said as far as "I don't believe you."
Right, I didn't believe him. And I don't.
Thank you.
Any further questions from anybody on the board? Anything else you'd like to?
No, I just appreciate your time tonight. And I just hope that Mr. Vanderleest would give me a public apology. This was not easy to come here tonight. And also that it wouldn't happen to anybody else. That there's assurance that this behavior is not tolerated. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Isabel?
Thank you. I have the opportunity to cross-examine her prior to putting on my case. Is that correct?
You can call, yes, that's part
Okay,
of
I'd
it.
like to call Ms. Van
I guess you'll have to end up sitting and she can take the stand or take,
Okay, I'm going to use my board.
Sure.
Okay. And then now I have notes. It's going to be a little weird. Okay, let's see. I'm not trying to be unprofessional. Is it okay if I?
That's fine.
Okay. If you want to, sorry. Is that uncomfortable for you? Because you could sit, however.
It's fine.
Okay. I'm going to first start out by, I guess, asking you to describe a couple things that you were asked by the ethics board members, some of the answers you made, and then I'm going to go into some of the exhibits I have. Okay. You said that you, looking back, that after you sent the email and you found out that an email was sent to your boss, that you were scared.
Yes.
And you're afraid of losing money, and you continue. That's one of the main reasons that you come forward. Is that that's correct? Okay.
just, again, sort of procedural things. You gotta speak up so we can get
Oh,
it on
I'm
tape.
sorry. I'm talking
Yeah.
this way, so I'll be careful.
Right,
Okay.
talk this way and then
Okay.
Ms. Van Oss, just speak up a little bit so we can get it on the tape. Thank
So
you.
basically, you came forward and you continue to come forward because you were scared because of this email.
Yes,
Of
I felt.
losing your employment. I'm sorry.
Yes, Mrs. Snell, I felt threatened.
Okay. However, you've never received, you said on the record that you've never received any disciplinary action from Mr. Olenichek or any loss of employment, correct?
No.
In fact, I saw you in the paper this weekend, you're one of the top performers still. Is that true?
You have to
Okay.
answer yes or no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And are you familiar with the Olenichek family, obviously from working with them?
I just want to understand this line of questioning, if you just don't mind, because I
No,
want to
just a
know what
moment.
your intent is, because this has nothing to do with
Hold on a moment. I would ask the board members that it's my turn to question her, and I do have obviously a line of questioning that I'm a professional, I'm an officer of the court, and if you want me to make an offer of proof, I can. Clearly, the Olenicheks are very well known. I worked at Lehman Conway. I know Tom Olenichek, that's his brother. Ole in this town, O-L-E, means a lot. I looked at her email, I immediately knew where she worked. So that I'm going to make a point in a moment if I can continue. I'm not trying to harass her at all.
Go ahead, and ma'am, if you can answer. If you don't know, then simply state that you don't know.
I just feel that I strongly I just don't feel like this, because it's to discredit you in some way.
Okay, ma'am, I'm not here to discredit you, but you need to answer my questions because I don't have,
But
we
where
don't have a lot
work
of
is
time
irrelevant.
to talk back and forth. I'm really just here to get some answers from you.
But I'm an independent contractor. I'm not his, it's a different
Ignition,
situation.
just a moment. Board members, I don't know how to do this other than to object and ask her to, she's not responsive to me, and I think we're gonna have a hard time. I'm gonna ask really direct questions, and they're gonna be simple, and I'm not trying to harass her. But at this point, I do have a bunch of things to ask her. This is a serious case for me and for my client. He's been accused of sexual harassment and discrimination. I do EEOC cases. It ruins a person's reputation. He's an alderman, and we have no facts or evidence here, and I'm here to probe that tonight. He's also been accused of slandering her, of numerous different things, of codes of conduct, and where he could be removed from being an alderman. He's an alderman in county and city district, and this is not something that I take lightly. I'm here to represent him tonight, and I need to do my job. So I would just ask, so I'm not going to be harassful, I just have direct questions to ask. May I
Ma'am?
proceed?
Yeah.
I know, but being an independent contractor is different than being a,
I asked you, I'm not arguing with you over the law, okay? I'm asking a question, could you please answer?
Just repeat your question.
Okay. Are you familiar with the Olenichek family?
Well,
With working
certainly I
with them? Okay. And they have quite a large family in town, correct?
yes, but I don't know how this has to do with
She
it.
has the right to ask the question. So.
Do I have to answer?
Yes, if you know the answers.
You filed a complaint against my client, you were coming to court, so you knew. Oh, just a moment. I have to hand out binder exhibits to you. Yes. Yes, I know. Sir, here you go. It's, let me see. Here you go. Or,
The only question is in a court of law, an independent contractor is different than an employee.
Let her ask the question, and then you can
But
respond.
I
to
don't
the
know if I
question.
have to respond to those because in a court of law, I'm an independent contractor.
You're under oath at the moment.
Yes.
Can we move forward, please?
It's just-
what we're going to do, what I'm going to talk about is the law that applies in this administrative hearing is the code of conduct, and you were sent a notice by the clerk that Wisconsin Stats 227 is the evidence code. So those two laws apply. I'm willing to adjourn this if she wants to get counsel, it'd make it much easier for me too. So if you'd like to come next time and we adjourn this and have.
No, we're going to continue, so just
Okay.
present your evidence and we'll move forward.
Okay, great. So those are the two pieces of law that apply. And tonight I'm here to show you that the facts that you brought forward and the law that's being applied that you brought to us have to equal a result that equals a violation of the code or the law. And I don't believe that's the case. I'm asking you some questions so we can get to the bottom of this, okay? Now, these emails occurred during February 20th and 21st, is that correct? Of 2017.
Correct.
Okay. And the first email, in fact, occurred just from you on the morning of February 20th, correct?
Yes, that was the date of the vote
What vote?
that I was supporting.
The removal vote of
Yeah,
Mayor
I
Schmidt?
was supporting that they would not vote.
Okay, and you wrote, okay, let me ask you, and you wrote this email to all the aldermen, right?
Yes.
Okay? And you wrote your opinion on I am against voting Mayor Schmidt out of office. He is a wonderful leader, family, and doing amazing things for the city of Green Bay. It is a disgrace what his family has been going through. Please advise. So you're asking, please advise, you're asking for opinions from everyone, correct?
Well, I was just asking that they please relate to what I had stated.
Okay. Did you also make phone calls to all the aldermen that day?
Okay. I strongly am going to
I need you to answer the question.
No, I object to this line of questioning because what is your intent, Mrs. Nell? Is it to discredit me and my reputation?
Absolutely.
That has nothing to do
And
with
it's
what
allowed,
you did.
that's why I'm allowed to do them on cross, and I'm not going to argue with you. Please answer my question. Did you call aldermen that day?
I called 2 aldermen.
Okay.
I
Did
left
you
a
call them
message
from the
for
phone of Mark Olenichek and
Yes,
Ability?
and is that a crime? You're an
Please don't ask me any questions. It's my turn to talk. You had your chance, all right? Did you call them from that phone number?
My office? Yes.
Mark Olenichek,
Yes.
Realty.
Mhm.
Did you have permission to do that?
I'm an independent contractor.
Does Mark give you permission to do that?
Not sure.
All right. Have you had a conversation with anyone from that office that you should not be doing that? Not
sure.
Mark, somebody else, a supervisor there. Were you talked to about this
Is this
after it
between
occurred?
me and my boss? Why are you?
Well, your
what
boss
does this
has
have to
people
do
that
with-
run the office. I'm
Okay, but
asking
how
you.
is this impacting?
You have to answer her question.
Did you have, were you talked to about calling aldermen from the office phone? You were not.
No. Who would I be called? Who would talk to me? Then?
I'm not, please quit asking me questions. I'm not on the stand. Ma'am, you filed a serious complaint against my client. You need to answer these
What he
questions.
did was serious, also. But that doesn't have anything to do with me. Where I called.
I need you
from.
to answer the question, please.
I'm not sure. I don't think I did.
You're not sure? Or you did or you didn't? Are you
What was
sure?
your question?
Okay. Did someone, as a supervisor,
Yes.
from Mark Olenichek's
Yes.
office,
Yes.
talk to you about using the company phone and email to display opinions regarding who to vote for and who not to
No,
vote
not
for?
specifically, no.
Really?
No.
So your answer is no.
Nobody talked to me.
I think it's been asked and answered.
Okay, all right. I'm just letting her one more
I
time
understand.
because this
I
is
know, it
a
sounds
transcript. And,
Nobody talked to me specifically about not using the phone to call people.
okay, who did you contact as for alderman?
Well, Mr. Geisem, I left him a message, and then I called Mr. Dwayne, and I had a chat with him.
Okay. And were you, did you believe that chat went well with Mr. Dwayne?
Well, I disagreed with him, and he disagreed with me.
Similar to Mr. Vanderleest?
Well, are we talking about hearsay, what he said, I said?
No, I'm asking you if you had a
He
disagreement.
didn't agree with me, so it was fine.
Okay. And did you send him emails too?
I sent everybody the same email.
Okay.
You already asked me that.
I didn't, I said, did you send him emails after that? I was
No.
asking if
No.
you pursued.
Oh, just, I said thank you to all the ones that voted to keep him.
Right, okay, that
That
was
was my
your next
follow-up.
email, right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, and you made sure to say who was removed, who voted
Yeah, I
removal?
just copied it out of everything.
Okay, all right.
Is that a
And-
crime?
Ma'am.
Oh, yeah, I'm not supposed to answer you.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I'm not an attorney, and I haven't done this
That's all right, just
before.
wait.
So I'm not
Just
sure.
answer the questions when they're put to you.
Right, I'm not a realtor either, but I know what to do when I come to see you. So I think you know how to handle yourself. All right, now this is the complaint. Let's go through the complaint one by one. We obviously responded to that. And so you admit that you did contact the people and were asking them during that time frame to give you an opinion as to what their vote was or talk to you about that, correct?
No, my intent was just to tell them that I was to show my support for the candidate, for the elected official.
And-
They didn't need to contact me back.
Okay. And what is your relationship with Mr., and I'm not meaning, listen, did you have a personal relationship with Mr.?
As I
or
said
Mayor?
before, it has nothing to do with where I work, where I worship, with whom I socialize, where I send my children to school.
I'm asking, do you socialize with the mayor?
Yes.
Okay. And how often do you go on trips with him?
As I said, it has nothing to do with where I work or who I socialize
I need
with.
you to answer the question unless the board objects.
Not very often,
Okay. And during this time frame, were you socializing with him?
no. I mean, maybe I said hi. Does that matter to this board?
All right, I need you to just to answer my question.
Can I ask a question, Attorney?
Yes.
What does her relationship with the mayor have to do with this?
Thank you.
I'm just asking if she maybe did this on his behalf, on her, for her, not for the mayor. Doing it.
So now I'm getting accused
No, I'm not
of
accusing you.
that.
Wait,
I'm
wait,
a-
wait.
Wow.
One at a time.
You're just trying to establish
What
whether...
her reasoning is.
I hope
based
the
on-
public.
Can we just ask that?
I'm done. I'm
That
moving
you
on.
voice your
I'm moving on,
opinion
trust me.
All right.
I think I made my,
That you are going to be attacked.
ma'am,
Yes.
please don't say that to me because you filed a complaint against my client for numerous reasons. We're gonna get into that in a minute.
He got a complaint because of misconduct.
Answer the
he
questions
did.
when they come to you.
Okay, all right, so, right now, the second part I want to talk about is that you allege that he was talked about by, I think, Mr. Attorney Vandy Castle asked you specifically about the 2 points in the code of conduct. Okay? Do you remember that? And it's in mine. Before we talk about that, can I just clear something up real quick? You do admit that you live at this residence?
Yes, I'm not a resident of the city of Green Bay.
Okay.
Thank you.
And nor do you work in the city of Green Bay?
Okay, no, I don't.
Okay. And have you read the code of the city, section 1 of the city of Green Bay, which is the law that is governed here? That the law, that the code applies to citizens and businesses and I believe it says private and governmental entities.
Okay.
Have you read that?
I've seen it.
Okay,
I've read it.
okay, all right. And then you also note that you did use Mr. Oliniechek's,
No, I use my personal computer, and I use my Gmail account. If it routed out that way, I'm not tech savvy, attorney now. This was my own personal
that's fine.
computer.
Thank you, good enough, we can move on. All right, so I'm adding up the elements, the facts and the law equals that you are not a citizen of Green Bay, and I believe you don't have a right to bring a claim. So that is one of my points, which the case would be dismissed on that. Next point is, moving along, the complaint is meritless, but let's go to your facts. Now, you say in your complaint on February, or in your email to the alderman that you think that the next day, all of them, and you say who voted against and who voted for.
No, I didn't say that.
Well, you
No, I did not say that.
You say against.
I didn't say who did. I
You
just
put their
copied.
names. Well,
I said thank you to those.
that
Did
comes
not
from your
vote their
email.
shoot out of
correct?
office, and it just says who did and who didn't.
Their names are listed, correct?
Right. It's public knowledge.
Well, right, but it came from your email,
Yeah,
correct?
I was thanking them as a
But you
follow-up.
also put who did vote.
Is that a crime?
Yes, ma'am, please. You know the rules. Okay, so with that being said, you used your work email, and then you also.
No, I used my computer and my Gmail account.
Okay, all right, let's move on. We've
I
got-
strongly disagree with this line of questioning. It's
Okay, I'm
to
gonna move on.
discredit me.
I'm gonna move on. But I just want to make sure that you are you're telling us all the truth. Do you have any emails from Mark that you have in your possession, even outside of today, that says he's okay with it?
Okay with what?
You using his email and telephone?
I didn't use his email.
Yet you use the Oliniechek Realty.
I strongly disagree with this line of questioning because logistically, it doesn't matter where I contact from. I'm an independent contractor.
Ma'am, you're using your opinion
It's
on
an
his.
independent contractor.
Okay, were you talked to from someone after this happened?
That's been
all
asked
right,
already.
It's,
Let's move on.
it's not being, right. So, all right.
It's my Gmail
Okay,
account.
all right.
It's not.
I'm not
it's my
hearing
own
where
personal
it's coming
computer.
from. I just believe that she's
Yes, you
been
did.
talked to about it. So that's why she's nervous about losing
Right,
money
just-
and
I
whatnot.
understand, just move on.
All right, okay. So, Ms. Van Oss, you claim that you just know that Mr. or Alderman Vanderleest, if you were a man, you just know. You have no facts that you can back up, you have nothing at all, but you just know because you're a woman that that's why he sent that email to your employer. How do you just know? Like, what do you mean?
Does he have proof that he's called others employers, man's employers, that disagree with him? Has he called any other employers?
You're
or
not answering my
contacted them?
question. How do you just know?
Have
Is there
you?
something that comes down, you have a vision, like some people feel things, I don't know, but give me something.
Mrs. Nell, I was bullied and intimidated by
okay.
him contacting my employer.
Me-
That's a
me-
sexist thing. He should not have contacted my employer. Because I'm a woman, he did it. He thought
And
he
I'm a
could get
woman
work.
too, and I'm
Thought he
taking this
could get
very
away with
seriously.
it.
Wow, this is crazy.
Let's
Okay,
move on.
all right. Oh my, okay. Let's talk about, sir, do you want to take
I
a minute
just-
break and talk to her? Because I keep hearing you, and I'm trying to,
He's my
Yes.
husband.
I understand. Do you
Yes,
want
I
to?
would like to say something.
No.
No, I'm saying
Let's keep
together.
moving on and just no,
She's
sir,
insinuating.
sir, you're not testifying. We have one person that's responding to
stick up
another,
for me
only
because
one at a
it's
time, please.
It's
I need to
okay.
get a drink of water if you don't mind.
I know, and she did. It's okay.
I'm
Let's
gonna-
keep moving because we're running short of
All right,
time.
I'm gonna just get to the bottom of this.
I don't want this to be personal. It's in black and white. What he did was cross the line. All I'm
All right,
asking
so
for
just,
is an
wait till
apology.
you get asked the question. Don't comment before a question is
But
asked.
I'm getting
No, ma'am,
villainized.
ma'am, please.
Can you describe, I know I asked this and I don't believe that you've answered it other than to say that you you were worried about suffering financial harm, but I'm asking you, based on the law, can you describe, I'm going to stick right to the law on the areas
I'm not an attorney. I would not know the law.
that you filed a complaint, so you have to find a violation of the law. On the two areas that you filed it on the code of conduct, can you tell us, I don't understand this paragraph, can you tell me what part of the law and facts back that up that violated the law that Mr. Vanderleest did,
What law?
that you alleged in your complaint and code of conduct?
Okay, which law?
You wrote a complaint, you read it, you tell me. The code of conduct. Please tell us what facts you have that violated that law.
I have
There's two
my-
codes.
I have my email.
What part of those emails describe what he did, like what actions he took?
He reached out to my employer, and I think
Okay,
that's an
that, all right,
abuse of
if
power.
that's your answer, that's great. We can move on. I know what you're alleging. Okay, the next thing you allege is that his opinion caused you, I think, you were slandered, and it caused, without retribution, you were slandered from a city official, which could cause you financial harm and loss of employment. That was your next allegation. So, with that being said, what facts and what law, you know the law of slander, you know the law of libel, so you said, you're thanking me for teaching me that.
Well, you said the difference between slander would be written and libel is verbal.
And
So
now-
I couldn't say slander, I'd have to say libel. And because he said I was unprofessional and he contacted my employer with my conduct, that was
He's not
out
your
of line.
employer, you're an
Let
independent
her
contractor.
answer.
He
Okay.
contacted my employer and saying that I was unprofessional. I wanted to share the unprofessional email your agent sent to me. He had no right to contact my employer. Attorney
Ma'am,
Mel.
I'm confused because you said you were an independent contractor,
I
so
am
you're
an
not.
independent
you're not-
contractor.
You wouldn't have an
But I
employer.
work for a broker, and he did not have the right to contact him.
Okay,
He still has the right to fire me,
okay.
but I am an independent contractor.
Well-
There's different rights and rules for that.
Are you allowed, do you have, are you allowed to use the name without permission,
No,
Use
I-
electronics? I mean, my employees could never do that. I have independent
I think you'll
contractors.
have to discuss that with Mr. Olenichek.
Okay, excellent. So, how is it that you felt liable or slandered? Just because he sent the email? That's where you're going with
Well,
it?
definitely, and because he was
Okay.
very rude in his email about, just because I disagreed with him, that he attacked my character and that I was unprofessional. I reiterated again.
Okay.
Because I disagree with someone does not make me unprofessional.
I don't think that.
I can have a disagreement with someone and agree to disagree. I don't contact their employer.
I'm not asking what you do. So you believe that how you reacted in these emails, you believe you were professional?
Yes, I
You
do.
believe saying, I don't like you and others on the council, how you
I don't.
handled it?
I didn't say I didn't like
Wait,
you.
I'm sorry. You said, I don't
you
believe
are-
you, who's an authority figure, an alderman, who gave, he actually,
Okay, he's a-
one of the people that emailed you and gave you information.
He didn't give me any information.
Ma'am, he told you what was
Tell
happening
me,
in his
why do I have
district.
to believe him?
You don't have to,
There was
okay?
no, he didn't do an attachment and say, here's the pulling evidence.
Ma'am, you didn't ask him for any information.
Because
His
the
job-
conversation was
One at a
done.
time,
Okay.
let's please
Okay.
keep some decorum here.
Okay, did you, I'm sorry.
That's okay,
I'm
but just
sorry.
proceed with
Okay.
the question and we'll get an
All
answer.
right, I'm sorry.
Maybe
This
I
is
should-
different. Okay. Did you ask him to give you any backup information?
No, I asked him, I didn't need to, I said, this conversation is done. I asked it to be ceased.
But you keep saying that he was lying and there's no.
I never
polling.
said he lied.
No, you-
Where did I say that?
I actually wrote it down. You said you didn't believe him and then
I
you
didn't
thought.
believe him.
You
I
said
didn't
there's
say
no
lie.
polling, there's no proof.
I didn't lie, I didn't say he lied.
Okay,
You said that.
all right, fair enough. Let's move on. You know, I don't even know what I need to answer. I believe I know my part. So allegations, and you just don't believe them, and you just have a feeling that he would treat men differently. So you believe that he violated these two codes by sending an email to your employer or your independent, I'm not sure who he is. I know Mark very well, so I think I know what happened, but you, I'm not
All right,
sure.
let's just ask a question and move on because we're getting short on time here.
You were slandered by him sending your boss the email. But you did, I don't find this to, I'll ask you, is this how you talk to everyone in emails?
And what is the intent of
I
that
don't
question?
believe you. I don't like how you and others on the council have handled this situation. Good luck to
I
you.
didn't say the situation handled this. Good luck to you.
Right. Is that how you talk to everyone? Other authority figures? You expect a response from him that would be positive?
He's an official, but he's allowed to act any way he wants to. Because I disagreed with him and I challenged
Okay.
him there, I'm on trial. This
Just a moment.
really makes sense.
Just a moment. Prior to this, you asked for people to advise you of.
I said, please advise as to my opinion. It wasn't for them to advise me. I was saying, please look and see what I'd like you to do. That's all.
You
That's
said
up to
us.
them.
After that, you listed the people that did vote for
I
removal.
said, thank you very much.
Okay, but you did list them.
Yeah.
And isn't it true that my client came forward and gave you the reasons that he had as an alderman, what was happening in his district, what he knew of the convictions from the mayor, and what he was hearing that he believed was going to happen in the future, and it was his personal district that he gave you that information, he reached out to you very professionally. And a lot of other people didn't reach out to you. They just said, but he did, and he wanted you to know why he voted that way, so you'd understand.
And if I don't, do I have to believe that? If I question him and say, no, I don't believe that, or I don't believe you, that's because I'm unprofessional? Is that what you're implying
Ma'am,
here?
I
Ms.
don't believe,
Snell?
ma'am, I'm just asking you if that's how you talk to everyone else.
I think that is complete hearsay. I mean,
Hearsay?
that has nothing to do with this.
No, I'm asking
How
if
I
that's.
talk to other
That's not
people.
hearsay. I'm asking you because that's not,
That line of questioning doesn't have anything to do with this.
do you think that would put someone on edge when they're simply trying to?
You know what? I cannot speak for if that's going to put him on edge or anybody else.
But you're allowed to just make allegations.
All right, let's
that-
just
Okay,
move on.
all right.
Allowed to.
I'm a trial
He's just
attorney.
allowed to contact my employer.
All right, ma'am, just let her ask the
All right, okay,
question.
I'm gonna make it fast now, because, okay, so, All right, so did you know, or do you know that he knows Mark Olenichek and his family?
No, I do not know that.
Okay, and would it be fair to say that?
I don't know why.
No,
But
no,
just
I'm
let her ask
sorry.
the question.
I'm just asking you, would it be fair to say then that there would be, you wouldn't know what his concern would be? You have no idea why he would want to contact him?
I understand you're trying to justify his actions. I
Ma'am,
cannot answer that.
please don't give me that
I
rhetoric.
cannot answer that.
Okay, I just asked you.
You are asking
You can say no.
hypothetical
Question's been
questions
asked,
that
question's
go
been asked and
nowhere.
answered, let's move on.
All right, and
This
furthermore,
has nothing to do with me.
Ma'am, just,
okay, and finally, I think, the last thing I want to ask you is about, is there any other law that you believe you violated? I think I got through them all. Is there any other legal law that you think you violated?
This was more of an ethics instead of a law. It was ethics.
Well, you still have, there's elements and law that we look at, whether he violated an ethics. So I'm just asking if I missed anything. I could go on, but I want to try to. You're obviously, the end of it didn't end well. And at some point, could you just have said, let's just agree to disagree?
Could he have?
Certainly.
answer the question.
I think.
I think he did. So you've suffered no loss from this, is that correct?
Well, we will see how the outcome is tonight.
Did you know that this has been on the media?
No, I did not contact them. I didn't want anything in the media. I just wanted to go to the grievance, for the grievance, because I did not want this to happen to anybody else.
Oh, right. So do you have any idea what kind of impact alleging sexual discrimination and slander to an alderman has on a person and their career when it's in the media every day for how many days? And it was posted on social media, which had 600 clicks one night. People will never have 600 clicks to say that he didn't do it. You understand that, correct? You do understand the seriousness that you have created from 6 emails of 2 lines during 2 days of a man that reached out to you to tell you his
That's-
opinion. Do you understand the impact?
Do you understand the impact of what he did to me?
Ma'am, I'm a woman. I totally understand, and I think he was very gentlemanly. He reached out to you very gentlemanly. I don't think he did anything that was. Who cares what?
I just
Ashley, let's move on.
respectfully disagree with you.
Very good, thank you. Anything as far as any other loss of employment, intimidation at your work? Has you had any other backfiring?
I feel like I'm getting backfired tonight. I feel like I am under attack
You are.
because I was wronged because someone.
Ma'am, you're in court. You filed a complaint, a serious complaint. You are in court. That's how it happens. I'm defending my client, yes. That's all that's
All right.
happening.
Let's keep
Okay,
moving.
I have no other questions.
Any other witnesses?
For me?
Yes. All right, let's move it on quickly.
Okay, yeah, I can make this real fast. I'd like to call Tom Duane, Alderman Tom Duane. Good evening, Alderman.
Alderman, I'm sorry, I need to swear you in. Raise your hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Very good. Please proceed.
Sure. Alderman, do you recall the day of February 20th of 2016?
Yes.
Okay. And first of all, your position is with,
Yeah, I'm a city alderman alderman for City of Green Bay, District 2, and I'm also a city council president.
okay. and how-
Excuse me, did you say the February
17.
27th?
Thank
Okay,
you.
just wanna make sure.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. Yeah, he corrected me correctly. So you remember that day?
Yes.
And what, and because there was a reason, obviously.
Right.
And what was that for?
A phone call received.
Well, and you had a big meeting that night, correct?
Oh, yeah, it was, obviously we had a council meeting that night, whether or not we found just cause to remove the mayor.
Okay. And then you said during the day you received a phone call?
Yes, it was later on in the afternoon.
And who was that from?
Zoe Benos.
Okay. And what was the phone call about?
Well, at first, it came up Mark Olenichek, and I thought it was from someone else because I know a lot of people at Olenichek Realty. And when I called and she explained who she was, and I said, well, how you doing? And she said that I think the mayor's doing a great job. She went on to say she thought that we should not vote him out of office, and I said, okay, and like that, I said, yeah, the mayor's done a lot of good things. I said, but do you understand the counts that he's been charged with and that? And at that point, everything went haywire. Everything just went backwards.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, she got very hostile in our conversations, threatening. She made accusations, went on to tell me I was the worst alderman in the city's ever had.
Excuse me.
And that,
Can I just interrupt for a
Sure,
second?
sure.
Explain to me what this has to do with her complaint. Her complaint is only about Alderman Vanderleest and about his emails. So
Well,
where are we going with this?
definitely credibility, bias, and the fact that this was something she did all day long to different aldermen. So I think it's completely relevant. And when I looked at the rules of evidence, relevancy is a huge part of what you look to in this case. And if it happened to Alderman Vanderleest and it also happened to another alderman, it surely brings forth the fact that one is telling the truth. If they're having the same experience.
So you feel that if her phone conversation with Alderman Dwayne is similar to the email conversation she had with Alderman Vanderleest, this proves that
When she's not hearing what she wants to hear for or for keeping him on, or if there's a disagreement,
Okay.
it's not going well, then,
But how does that,
I think it shows a pattern. I think very well, so I think it would be admissible in any court of law. And I'm gonna be short on it.
I'm not a lawyer, but I guess I would ask,
What do you,
Well, I guess my concern is that we're really, our review is limited to the emails that were presented as evidence. And so, I'm not sure, I guess I would agree with Alderman Galvin, I'm not so sure that going too far down this line is going to be real productive.
well, I'm going to be able to show a lack of credibility when he tells the next steps that happen with Mark Olenichek Realty. If I can give an offer of proof, I'm going, do you see what I'm saying?
Can I object? Because it's
No,
completely
yeah.
hearsay.
Just wait.
Okay, so he looks at the phone, it says Mark Olenichek
Understand.
Realty. And then he knows it Mark's, and so then something happened after that where he was, I think the board needs to know.
Right, I'll let you continue a
I'll
little
be
bit, but
fast,
again,
and if you
the
feel
question
if
kind
you
of
feel
relates
it's
to how this
I'm
ties
not-
into the emails.
Yeah, I'm trying to make, I really want this over too, so,
Right.
okay. All right, so what happened next? It didn't go well.
yeah, I understand. I don't like to be up here anyway because my family in Venosis go way back and they light up their room. There's not one Venosis they're just good people.
Right.
So
Okay.
it was very rough, but okay, yeah. So we went on and I tried to be, because of the family, I was as nice as I could be. But we talked at length. And when we got done, I was concerned because it came from Mark Olenichek. And I dealt with Olenicheks for a long time, selling houses and buying houses, my family has. And so I called someone that I knew very well down there. And we talked, and I said, listen, you know what's just going on. I says,
I don't think we need to go down that road.
Okay.
We're going to get into some hearsay issues, and we're getting short on time, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it said hearsay is okay. I read it to the wire, and,
I understand,
Okay.
but let's just
okay,
keep
well,
moving on.
what were you told that there was conversation had with this man?
yes, I was called the next day. And they said they had talked to her and that they're going to have more conversations and that they were going to talk with Mark Olenichek also.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. That's all I
Thank you.
need.
Thank you, Alderman.
Okay, and I'd like to call Alderman Vanderleest.
I'd like to know who he
Well-
who she contacted.
Let's go quickly because we're running out of
Do I
time.
have a right?
you.
That was complete hearsay.
Yep, I understand that.
Okay.
We'll take it under consideration. Alderman, do you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Very good. Let's proceed quickly if we can.
Okay. Alderman, how are you this morning? Or this afternoon? Okay, good. So, you, obviously, you've heard everything going tonight that's talked to about tonight. What is your position with the district and county?
I represent District 11 on the west side of Green Bay and District 10 on the county side.
Okay, and as you hold these positions, what do you do as part of them? Do you talk to people about things that occur in the district?
Basically, whatever the constituents call, I try to address the situations. It could be problems with neighbors, it could be fire pits.
Okay, and in this specific situation, obviously, this was kind of a big deal in our community that happened with Mayor Schmidt. Were you contacted by people within your district?
Yes, I was.
To discuss this? All right, and approximately how many people contacted you, if you can remember?
I would say at least 30 people I talked to, either in the district or on the places I went, visited.
Sure.
And,
I'm not trying to cut you off, I just know
Okay.
that I'm trying to make it faster then. And out of those 30 people, did they give you an opinion as to how they felt about removal or non-removal?
yes, they did.
Okay, and can you
The sentiment was about out of 4, 3 of them would be say removal. It was a touchy situation. A lot of people had different axes to grind about the mayor and what have you, and some supported him. So I would say it was with 3/4.
And do you keep records?
I do keep records.
Okay, and
Recall.
when you were emailing back and forth, and you're under oath, you realize that, so,
Yes, I am.
and when you were emailing back and forth, well, why did you respond, first of all, why did you respond to Ms. Spanos?
I just give my opinion on what was taking place in my district.
And do you feel that's part of your duty as an alderman?
I do. I think people like to know the heartbeat of what's going on in the local area, and if people ask me, I'll give them my feedback.
Okay. And when you emailed her back and told her the statistics, or I don't know if that's the correct word, but what you felt was happening within your district, you also said your personal opinion that you really, I should read it verbatim, so I make sure, that you liked the mayor. I'm so organized too. Where did I go wrong here tonight? Okay, here we go. Here you are, I think. Yes. 3-1. Okay. Is this your email?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and you made some comment that you didn't dislike Mayor Schmidt, but the sentiment was definitely against him and your district. Well, that's after you talked about the 3-1. And that Jim should consider resigning or perhaps facing a recall.
That's correct.
Okay, and how did you come to that opinion?
Just by the number of people I talked to, and it was a very touchy issue. Let's put it that way. It would put a lot of stress on the county, as far as on the city council,
Sure.
and people in the county as well. I got feedback from people that are in elected office as well as average citizens.
Do you still hear people talking about maybe a recall?
I don't
Let's
know.
move on. I don't
Okay,
think
well,
that's
I'm just,
relevant to
Yeah.
this
all right,
point.
fair enough. I just, meaning it's still talked about, I guess is my point. All right, I had something for you on that, let's see. Did you make this opinion on your own, not on behalf of the city council?
Not on behalf of the city council.
Okay.
That's my own
And
opinion.
it doesn't say anything that,
I didn't say that, everybody on the council feels like I do. I did not say that.
okay.
Just
And
my
then,
own opinion.
okay, and then, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off, and then you received an email back that, from Ms. Vanos, and it said something about her not believing you and how she didn't feel like how you and others had handled, this good luck to you. And what was the sentiment that you felt, or the tone you had felt after hearing that?
I guess it wasn't, just the best news to hear. I don't believe you, and this and that, threatening. In other words, questioning what I really said.
Right.
And what I said was pretty much right on target as far as the number of people that called. Some people that have concerns about issues, they'll call you. if it might be. In other words, you'll hear more from the ones that are against or the ones that are for, depending on how the sentiment is.
Squeaky wheel makes a noise.
And the sentiment was that the ones that called, they were, giving their opinion, and the ones that, but I didn't have as many people call saying, the ones that called, the majority of them that called me said that, they supported removal. And it wasn't only from, it was from elected officials as well. That's all I can say about that.
So did you feel that this conversation was unprofessional, was getting to a level of that you were comfortable with?
Well, it wasn't, how would I say it?
You can just
I
be
could
honest.
be annoyed by, different people calling in and, more of a harassment type thing, but you have to listen to everybody that calls.
And you
or
said that you
emails.
get a lot of complaints, so you're used to that, and it's part of your job.
That's correct.
Okay. And did you know Mark Olenichuk? Did you know his family, and do your kids know his family? on
I do. I
sporting
don't
events?
know Mark personally, but
But-
I do know him at his business. And some of my family know his daughters and things like that.
Okay. And, okay, let's go a little further here.
Let's move it along, we're running out of time.
Okay. Did you intend to, at some point you decided you were going to let Ms. Spanos know that you were no longer, you felt she was being unprofessional, and that Mark Olenichuk, his father, was the mayor, Horace Dominique, and you thought that she wasn't acting in a manner, and you did forward this to Mr. Olenichuk?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and why did you choose to do that?
Because I think it was done on a corporate level, and it wasn't on a personal level. In other words, it was a corporate email that I received.
And in your lifetime, have you known people to have policies that they don't, let their employees or independent contractors use those types of things for?
I would say personally that if I'm running a business, that the business owner has the rights to say yes, or no.
All right. And finally, did you mean to do Ms. Vanos any financial harm or intimidate her, bully her by any
No,
manner?
I did not at all.
And are you familiar with the code of conduct?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and have you read the allegations, obviously, of Code 4E and 5A?
Yes, I have.
Do you believe that you violated either of those?
No, I don't.
Okay. Have you ever received a complaint before?
No, not at all.
Do you believe, have you ever received a complaint of sexual discrimination?
No, I have not.
Did you mean to sexually discriminate Ms. Van Alst in any manner?
No, I did not.
Did you complete any conduct at all that you felt fell to that manner?
No.
In fact, did you, I'm going to go through the other ones. I don't think any exist. So finally, by sending her boss an email letting him know that just what had happened, were you intending to break the law and commit a libel against her? Like put her name out for a bad
No, I
reason?
did not.
Were you being honest and telling the truth?
Yes, I was.
And you understand that the truth is the defense to such a thing?
That's correct.
Okay. Finally, have you been watching the media?
I did watch the media, but I did not catch the Fox 11's report.
Every day? Okay. And did you realize that you are being portrayed in a very negative light in the media the
Yes,
past
I've had
week?
people call me and ask me what's going on.
And it's on social media, and you're being portrayed as in a very negative light.
I'm aware of that.
Okay. And finally, do you know, did you send the media a copy of the complaint?
No, I did not.
Okay. And did you know that I saw, can I ask, did somebody have a yellow copy of a name highlighted on it? I saw someone had a yellow copy of the name on it. Oh, that was you. You highlighted that. Okay.
That's the way it came.
Okay,
as
in
a
orange,
city.
in orange. Okay.
I also have a similar one, that's the first one I got was in yellow, that came from the city attorney's office.
Oh, okay, because we did hers in yellow together, and I thought hers was only yellow. And that's the one that, okay, that's good, it's cleared up for me. All right. At this point, do you feel that you have been, your reputation has been harmed?
Possibility that it has been.
Have you felt bad these last weeks about how you've been portrayed?
It's not a good feeling.
And have you noticed your family members have felt, you have obviously a son that works in the field, and how does he?
It's not good publicity, this type of.
I think that's all I need. I'm sorry for taking so much time, and I will forego closing arguments.
Okay.
Don't have anything else?
Yes.
Or unless you want to.
We have a couple of
I have a
questions.
few questions for
Sure.
Alderman Vanderleest.
Oh, sure.
John, so you've been city alderman for a year, and how long with the county board?
Same amount of time.
Same amount of time.
Same time.
So you've been getting a lot of emails, phone calls over various things over that
Yes, I
amount of
have.
time. Have you ever had a email or a phone call that kind of rose to this level here? Where someone disagreed with your opinion on something, basically?
Not so much, no. No, I've had people say that, we want you to vote this way, and, they're adamant about it and things like that.
But they've never disagreed with you or anything, so you've never had a situation like this before? I mean, have you ever had someone express opinion to you, just thought, something, I'm not gonna follow this up with a comment, I'm just not gonna respond, I'm gonna let it go?
I've done that, yeah.
Okay. What was your purpose in contacting Mr. Olenichek?
I guess because it's a corporate business, and that was a segment of the business. That would be a reason to contact him.
Okay, if you had expressed an opinion to an elected official or anybody, would you want them to contact your boss about it? Would you expect that?
Let's state that again. State that again.
If you had a conversation like this, say with another elected official, say you're just Joe Citizen, and you had a conversation with an elected official, and you folks, the two of you obviously didn't disagree on, or didn't agree on something, would you contact that elected official's boss and let them know? I mean,
It depends on the situation.
about what was said in that?
Pardon?
You mean like what was said and that kind of stuff?
Yes, it would.
The level it rose to? Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for the board? All right, nothing further? Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.
All right, what I'd like to do is give each side, no, it's not on the agenda, but I'd like to give each side about 3 minutes to sum up their position. Ms. Van Oss, I'll let you go first.
Thank you for your time again. I appreciate your time. I was not expecting that I would be under attack tonight by Mr. Vanderleest's attorney. I feel like I'm being bullied all over again. All I know is when I got off the phone, I felt sick to my stomach and worried, and I never thought that would happen by just voicing an opinion. I did not think I was rude. I'm to the point, I'm precise, and that's who I am. I don't feel that that is being unprofessional, and just because he thought I was unprofessional, he had the right to cross the line and use his power and contact my employer. Mr. Vanderleest, I believe, holds a real estate license, so he knows that I'm an independent contractor. He knew where I worked before he got my email. He knew who I was. That's not a surprise. I asked him to cease conversation with me. He could have walked away. He didn't. He crossed that line, and I just want to make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else. Now I am afraid if I have an opinion that I can't express it without reprisals, and I don't think that's the sentiment that should be out there. And I do believe he owes me an apology. This isn't about logistics. This isn't about trying to discredit me and my professionalism, my reputation, where I work. As I said, it's not about to whom I socialize, where I go to church, where I work. This is about a public official who did not like that I disagreed with him, and he crossed the line and contacted my employer with the intent to cause me harm. That's the only reason you're going to contact an employer, to cause harm. At that time I got that email back from Mark, I was very scared. I'm going, what did I do wrong? Everybody should have the freedom to voice and support any elected official or candidate without fear of reprisal or reprimand. And I do believe because I was a woman, he thought he could get away with it. As far as the attack on me by Mr. Dwayne, that is complete hearsay. It was not, I disagreed with him also, and he did not like it. I don't have to agree with them. That was my opinion. I wanted him to keep Mayor Schmidt. That was my opinion. If he didn't want to, that's fine. But just because I disagreed with him and asked him questions doesn't mean that I'm unprofessional. So that is complete hearsay. I don't even know why that was allowed to even be presented. Again, thank you for your time tonight. I respectively disagree with Attorney Nell in the line of questioning of where I work, etc. If you can just stick to the facts of what was in that email. It's in black and white. I didn't need to have any witnesses because it's all written. It's right there. You can see the action that occurred.
Thank you. Ms. Nell?
Thank you.
Again, 3 minutes.
I'll be good. Jacqueline. Actually, you do need more than facts when you file a complaint, and there are serious allegations. You can't just file a complaint on facts and say, please, I'd like to say he violated some code or something. You need to have facts, and you need to have laws and they need to go together. And the problem I see with this whole case, and I'm not bullying, I'm doing my job. I was actually very light. We had a hard time communicating tonight. And it is because I'm a trial attorney for 17 years, and that's how we operate. We ask questions, and I was applying the law, the facts that she had brought forward, to the law that she asked us to look at. And saying that she could be treated, if she were a man, she would be treated differently, I take that very seriously. That I do, like I said, I do several EEOC claims in my lifetime, and these women that I represented there's no email business going on. I found this to be, it wasn't harassing to me. In fact, I thought that it was politics upset people. It's a touchy subject, and she came back and she was it was both ways. And for someone to contact someone's employer, I would hope that if someone was using my email, first of all, they're not supposed to use it for personal reasons, whether they're independent contractors or not. That's my reputation, and that's basically acting out on behalf of Trish Law Office. Anyone who works for me at any time is acting out on behalf of me. So you heard 2 people say that they contacted. We don't know how many people contacted Mr. Olenichuk, but she still has a job there because she's a good employee. And she probably was just told not to use it again, whether for whatever reason, because none of us really should. Politics aren't popular to talk about. And what I'm here to say is that, in all fairness, her complaint doesn't reach a level of any violation that she asserted. And both as a former law officer, as you know, all of you, attorney, obviously, all of you know that you need to have both law and facts, and you need to go through the elements to find a violation, and she's just not there. And I also want to bring up something I was staying away from, but Mr. Vanderleest also knows, because he was in real estate, that she has a form of code of conduct that's held to a higher level, and it's for clients, the public, and realtors, a higher standard. And it says that you have to hold your opinion that is offered in a objective, professional manner uninfluenced by any personal motivation or personal advantage or gain. And I don't think that if she looked at that email from not being herself, how she responded, that she held herself to that standard either. So I think maybe everybody should have taken a step back. But why did he contact her employer was not to have her fired, and she wasn't. It was just to make sure that she wasn't using her opinion as Mark's opinion. And because people, he can lose business from that. I won't let anybody tell what side I'm on, if I'm a Trump fan or a Hillary fan. I probably do tell some people, but anyway, I wouldn't want anyone to do it. So my point is that I'm here today, and I had to fight hard for my client because it is serious. And his reputation has been diminished, and I can't get that back for him. I can call Fox 11 tomorrow and say, I'd like to make a great statement. People don't care. I'm hired. He paid me to say that, it's done is done. And he can't bring that back. And he has been harmed. And according to the code, in fact, if you wanted to really get into it, which I know that you all probably know this by heart, but if this is a false or frivolous complaint, so if I could make it saying that she made this false or misleading, which I do believe is the case, he could go and file civil action against her. Now, will he do that? No. But, that's something that to be said. And he's on. But that's where I'm at with it. I just want the board to know that I think that she needs to look at the big picture, too. Thank you. And I didn't mean to, I was supposed to say, I never mean to make anybody feel bad or be disrespectful. I'm doing my job. Thank you.
All right. I believe that's it for the testimony part of the hearing. The board's now going to move into closed session. I will read, for deliberation purposes, I will read the closed session notice.
Okay.
The board may convene in closed session pursuant to sections 19.85, sub 1, sub A of the Wisconsin statutes for the purpose of deliberating concerning a case which was the subject of any judicial or quasi-judicial trial or hearing before that governmental body. The board may therefore convene in open session, or may thereafter, reconvene in open session pursuant to section 19.85, sub 2 of the Wisconsin statutes to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda. So is there a motion by anyone on the board to convene in closed session for deliberation purposes?
I make a motion to move into closed session.
And we have a motion by Alderman Galvin and a second by Mr. Olson to move into closed session. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. We are now in closed session, and we will return when our deliberations are concluded. Yes. I will let them do. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Actually, we're going to go back into open session.
Right.
Make a motion to go back into open session.
All right, we have a motion to go back into open session. Is there a second? All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of moving back into open session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are back on the record after having gone through deliberations. Just for the record, let me note that we went into closed session. We asked everybody to leave the room. Under the rules, we had 3 alderpersons that remained in the room. They did not participate in any discussion, the negotiations that we had here amongst ourselves and discussions. They just sat as observers. The discussions were limited to the 4 of us. And as I stated before at the beginning, once we come to a conclusion here, the vote under the rules needs to be, because there's only 4 of us, needs to be unanimous when it comes to the vote. In closed session, we discussed establishing findings of fact and some conclusions. And I'm going to attempt to read those. And any of the board members who want to jump in and correct me, go right ahead. So I'll start with the findings first. Finding number 1 is that the complainant, Ms. Van Oss, did have the right to file a complaint with the Ethics Board under the provisions of Section 8A of the Code of Conduct. Finding number 2, that there were a series of emails exchanged between the parties, that being Ms. Van Oss and Alderman Vanderleest, and that Alderman Vanderleest responded to the emails from Ms. Van Oss as an alderperson, but not as the council, but only as his responses were only as an alderperson. Finding number 3, that a complaint was filed by the complainant, Ms. Van Oss, alleging a violation of the Code of Conduct provisions, Section 4E and 5A. In that regard, Section 4E states, outside public meetings, alderpersons shall make, or elected officials shall make no promise on behalf of the city or the council in unofficial settings. Council members will frequently be asked to explain a council action or to give their opinion about an issue as they meet and talk with constituents in the community. It is appropriate to give a brief overview of city policy and to refer to city staff for further information. Overt or implicit promises of specific council action or promises that city staff will take some specific actions shall be avoided. Council members must ensure that in expressing their own opinions, they do not mislead any listener into believing that their individual opinion is that of the entire council, unless the council has taken a vote on that issue and the council member's opinion is the same as the decision made by the council. Likewise, no council member should state in writing that council member's position in a way that implies it is the position of the entire city council. A council member has the right to state a personal opinion and has the right to indicate that he or she is stating such as a member of the council, but must always clarify that he or she is not speaking on behalf of the city council unless authorized by the council to do so. As I mentioned, the complaint also addresses, as a complaint for a violation of Section 5A, that section states elected officials' conduct with public agencies. Subsection A, must be clear about representing the city or personal interests. If a council member appears before any governmental agency or organization to give a statement on an issue, the council member must clearly state whether his or her statement reflects personal opinion or is the official stance of the city. Council members must inform the council of their involvement in an outside organization if that organization is or may become involved in any issue within the city's jurisdiction. If an individual council member publicly represents or speaks on behalf of another organization whose position differs from the city's official position on any issue, the council member must clearly communicate the organization upon whose behalf they are speaking and must withdraw from voting as a council member upon any action that has bearing upon the conflicting issue. Finding number, whatever the next number is, claims of sexual discrimination that were raised in the complaint are not covered by the Code of Conduct for elected officials for the city of Green Bay. Slander and libel are also matters that are not covered by the Code of Conduct for the city of Green Bay for the elected officials. There was no evidence in the record of a loss of employment or of financial harm to the complainant. We also find that notice of the hearing was properly given to all parties. And then for the conclusions. Conclusion number 1, that this board had proper jurisdiction to hear this matter this evening and that due notice was properly given to all parties. Conclusion number 2, that there was no evidence in the record of a violation of Section 4E of the Code of Conduct for elected officials for the city of Green Bay. Finding number 3, that there was no violation of Section 5A of the Code of Conduct for the elected officials for the city of Green Bay, and that there is no jurisdiction for the remainder of the claims in the complaint. Are there any additions or corrections to be made to my recitation of the findings or the conclusions? And if not, is there a motion with respect to those findings and conclusions?
I'll make a motion. Motion to accept the findings and conclusions as presented and to deny the allegations based on those findings and conclusions.
A motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion regarding the motion?
Mr. Chairman, just one thing, can we clarify? You stated to deny the allegations, we need to say deny the complaint.
Deny the complaint. Okay, change it to deny the complaint.
Is there a motion to amend the complaint? Is there a second to follow that?
Second.
You second the amendment? So we have a motion on the floor. Alderman Galvin, you just want to recite that again just for the record?
Sure. Motion to accept findings and conclusions as presented and to deny the complaint based on the findings and conclusions.
And that is your second to that?
Yes, that's correct.
Again, is there any further discussion regarding the findings, the conclusions, or the motion?
I guess just to make a comment. I appreciate Ms. Van Oss having the courage to move forward with what she felt is a valid complaint. I know it couldn't have been easy, not understanding how these proceedings work and having to put herself up in front of the public. At the same time, I also appreciate Alderman Vanderleest's position and the, what his attorney, Ms. Nell, had to do because she has to defend his reputation and his name. And personally, I wish this had not risen to this level. And I think if people had things to do over again, they probably wouldn't have done what they had done. And we never want, though, anyone to ever feel intimidated from being able to express their opinion to public officials, elected public officials. And that's something that we have to work very hard to guard against happening now and in the future. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
I would just simply echo that. I appreciate Ms. Van Oss taking the time to actually voice her opinion and to put her name on it. Oftentimes you see that where people will voice an opinion without tagging it with their name, but she came out and put herself out in front of this, and so I appreciate that. But my concern is, as we've read in the conclusions, that we could not link the concerns that Ms. Van Oss raised with the limitations that we are bound by under the code. We operate under a code that is established by the council, and we're limited to that. We can't go beyond what's in writing, the 5 paragraphs that I read. That's what we are bound by. So, again, I appreciate everybody taking their time this evening to come here and address this with us, and the efforts put on by both sides to address this. I think that this is educational for everybody, and unfortunately we had to go down this road, but we are here and we are doing our job to try to address this. Any further discussion? Otherwise, we will take a vote on this, and we'll do it by a roll call vote. And we'll start with Mr. Olson.
So my answer would be to accept the motion as presented.
Voting in favor of it?
Voting in favor of the motion.
I'm also in favor of the motion.
And I am also in favor of the motion as read.
I also am in favor of the motion as read.
So we have a motion that's been made. The vote on the record is unanimous. It does meet the requirement of the code that it be at least 4/5, so we've got a unanimous vote. The motion carries, and this matter is dismissed. Thank you all. Thank you for your time and efforts.
Thank you for your time for listening to us, too.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you again.
Thank you.
So the rest of them are on the agenda.
Yes, we have some more,
got more
we have some more things to do yet. All right, we are still on the record. Moving on, we're going to go back to item number 3. Actually, item number 2, we're going to approve the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve
We have a
the
motion, is there a second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
No, I said something from the.
Item number 3, approve the minutes of the Ethics Board meeting from July 5, 2016. You all had a copy of that. Are there any additions, corrections? Otherwise, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, election of Ethics Board Chairman. Does somebody else want to do this?
Congratulations.
You're it.
All right, well, I
Make a
can't.
motion that Bill Vandecastle be the chairman of the Ethics Committee.
Is there a second?
I second.
Oh, shoot. There is a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Congratulations.
Motion carries.
Motion
All right. No, one more. Election of Board, Ethics Board Vice Chair, and that's currently Mark. So I will move that Mark stay on as Vice Chair.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any opposed? Wait. We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Mark.
Question.
Nope, quick question.
Who seconded the election of the chairperson? Okay.
I second that.
That's all I need.
All right. A motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you all.
Good work, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I have to tell you, I got an email